By now, you've probably heard of Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. It's been all over the news, praised by some, slammed by others, and memed into oblivion. But here's what hasn't been talked about enough. This bill is packed with major tax wins for real estate investors. We're not talking about vague promises or temporary boosts. We're talking about permanent deductions, revived loopholes, and a whole bunch of ways to legally pay less tax and grow your portfolio faster. In this video, I'll break down exactly what changed, what got preserved, who benefits, and how smart investors are already taking advantage of it. Let's get into it. Number 1, the QBI deduction made permanent. The biggest headline for real estate investors is this: the 20% qualified business income deduction, or QBI, is now permanent. That's a massive win. If you own rental property, your net rental income is usually considered business income. And under QBI, you get to automatically deduct 20% of it from your taxable income. So if your rental brings in $50,000 in profit, you're only taxed on $40,000 of it. Before this new bill, the QBI deduction was set to expire soon. Now it's locked in for the long haul, giving real estate investors the certainty we need to plan ahead. Whether you're house hacking, burring, or using the traditional buy and hold strategy, this is the deduction that you don't want to miss out on. And if you're wondering how exactly this deduction works, what qualifies, and how to make sure you're eligible, I actually just posted a full breakdown on that topic where I walk you through all the rules and give you examples of how it all works in real life. The link to that video is in the description and in the end screen of this video. Number 2, 100% bonus depreciation returns. Next up, bonus depreciation is back, and it's back at full strength. If you've ever made improvements to a rental property, new roof, new HVAC, appliances, windows, and so on, you know those upgrades usually have to be depreciated over several years. But with 100% bonus depreciation, you can now write off the entire amount of certain improvements in the year you make them. That means if you spend $25,000 fixing up a property, you might be able to deduct all $25,000 immediately, instead of waiting 5 or 7 or 27 years. This is especially helpful for investors buying value-add properties or landlords trying to reposition older rentals. You get the tax savings now while you still have cash going out the door. Number 3, 1031 exchanges survive again. Another big win, 1031 exchanges are still fully intact. Every few years, they get targeted for elimination. But this time, no changes were made. And if you're not familiar, a 1031 exchange lets you sell one property and defer the capital gains tax as long as you reinvest into another investment property. It's like trading in a car without paying sales tax, only with houses and much bigger numbers. This strategy is critical for scaling without sending a big check to the IRS every time you trade up. And if you want a detailed walkthrough of how 1031 exchanges work, step by step, I've got a full video on that too. The link is in the description. Number 4, mortgage insurance premiums are now deductible permanently. Here's one you might not have seen coming. Mortgage insurance premiums, including PMI, FHA, MIP, VA funding fees, and USDA guaranteed fees, are now permanently tax deductible. This is huge for investors using low down payment loans, specifically while using the house hacking strategy. Before, this deduction was temporary and constantly in limbo. Now, it's permanent. So if you're using an FHA loan to buy a house hack with a down payment of less than 20%, the mortgage insurance premiums you'll be charged can now be written off every year. It's not flashy, but it does save you real money. Number 5, interest deduction for real property is safe. Another tax benefit that made it through untouched is the ability to deduct mortgage interest on investment properties. This was another tax benefit of real estate investing that was on the chopping block for some time. But lucky for us, Congress kept it in. And this is especially important in today's high interest rate mortgage environment. Whether you're using commercial loans, DSCR loans, or conventional investor loans, your interest expense remains deductible. That means even with higher rates, part of your borrowing cost gets offset at tax time. And for a lot of investors, that can make or break your cash flow. Number 6, SALT deduction quadrupled temporarily. Let's talk about the SALT deduction. That's short for state and local taxes. Under the old rules, you could only deduct up to $10,000 of property taxes and state income taxes. But the new law temporarily raises that cap to $40,000 per household from 2025 to 2029. This is a big deal if you live or invest in high-tax states like New York, New Jersey, or California. Let's say you pay $15,000 in property taxes and $20,000 in state income tax. Before, you could only deduct $10,000 total. Now you'll be able to deduct the full $35,000, at least for the next few years. That's a serious boost to after-tax cash flow, especially for upper and middle income earners. Number 7, affordable housing expansion. Now you might be thinking, that's for big developers, not small-time investors like me. And in most cases, that's true. The low-income housing tax credit is mostly used by institutional and nonprofit developers building subsidized units. But here's why it still matters even to small landlords. By expanding the credit and reducing the financing requirements, this bill will likely increase the construction of new affordable rental housing. And while that might sound like more competition, it actually serves a different tenant base than one that most landlords target. Affordable housing often comes with strict income limits, long waiting lists, and government oversight. Most of the time, your tenant pool and your rents aren't competing with those projects. In fact, adding supply at the bottom of the market can help stabilize housing overall and relieve pressure in working-class neighborhoods. So while it's not a direct benefit, it does contribute to a more balanced market, and that's better for everyone operating in it. Number 8, no new help for first-time buyers. One last point, and it's easy to miss. The bill offers no new federal help for first-time homebuyers. No down payment assistance, no homebuyer tax credit. In fact, the bill even rescinds some HUD programs. Now, if you're looking to buy your first property, that might sound like bad news. But if you're already a landlord, this means renter demand stays high. Many renters will remain renters longer, simply because the path to ownership hasn't gotten any easier. That's not great for housing access, but it does support occupancy and cash flow for existing landlords. So here's the bottom line. The one big, beautiful bill may be polarizing in politics, but in real estate, it's a clear win for investors. The QBI deduction is now permanent. Bonus depreciation is back at 100%. 1031 exchanges are preserved. Mortgage insurance and interest are still deductible. The SALT deduction got a big temporary boost. And while affordable housing efforts expanded, new federal buyer aid is nowhere to be found. If you're building wealth through real estate, this bill gives you clarity, predictability, and some real tax-saving power. And if you want to dig deeper into the biggest benefit, the QBI deduction, I've got a full explainer video on that topic waiting for you. Just tap or click the screen, and I'll see you there.